welcome to my series, my new series, Let's Be Clear. So for the past 3.5 years, there has been this underlying situation that has caused friction with not only my image, but my self-worth and what people view me as or think they view me as versus what I really am. And I think it's about time that we talk about it. So let's be clear. So about time I can get in front of the camera and talk. So I want to take it back to when I was in 2015. In 2015, I graduated from Reebok. And then from 9th grade to 11th grade, I went to Reigns. And I've always been into situations, whether the situations were my fault. And mind you, now this is my younger self. So I was 15, 16, 17, 18, and I graduated in 2015. So you could pretty much do the math on that. But from like the 9th grade, even up to the 12th grade, I was always in something, whether it was my fault, or whether it was me initiating it, whether it was just me being placed in situation because of the people that I was around or with or my friends. I was just always in something, and I just never understood why, when like I'm just such a different type of person. I'm overly friendly, I overextend myself, I'm too trusting, I'm too loving. It's probably why I'm in half the problems I'm in now. But I was always in something in high school, and I feel like, well, I know for a fact that was the younger me, and to know and to feel like it's still following me after all of these years, it makes me feel like either I didn't learn a lesson or I have to break away from my past. And sometimes that's like easier said than done because we know what we know. We love what we love. And this situation and this lifestyle have placed me in situations where I can be hurt, harmed, endangered. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I feel like I can smile through it now because I'm out of the storm already. And then I just like to make the best of situations, but that doesn't mean I'm not over it because I'm actually tired of going through it. So we gonna talk about it. Boom. 4 years ago total, I was dealing with a dude, and he was something new to me. I didn't really know about those type of dudes, but we started talking, and he just was a breath of fresh air to me. And down the line, it came with a lot of problems, and I feel like I was young then, so I'm just 25 now, but 3 years ago, I was younger, and it was my first like rodeo, and like my first experience with like a dude who's a little bit older than me. And so we were just having a good time, you know. And then it just became to where like I got a lot of love for him. I had like a lot of respect for him. And like 2 years in, I got into an altercation with a few individuals behind him. And it was at my job. I was a bottle girl. I was a ones girl at a club called Mascaras. And I was working that night, and the situation got violent. It was like me and like 5 or 6 other women against me. And at that time, I was still dealing with him, and I just kind of felt like I shouldn't have been placed in that situation, regardless of anything, all because you can't help who you love, and you just can't help who you love, and you can't help what you feel is right and what you feel is fit. And so got into the altercation at my job. When I left out that situation, my face was pretty messed up.
So they approached you?
Yeah, they approached me.
So she was a previous, or was she?
Yeah, so they used to talk, whatever like relationship they had prior. And then I was obviously like, the new girl he was talking to, or one of the new girls he was talking to. And so that's how that happened. But me and him always just like had a different type of bond. Like, it's just what we had, it's just what we had. Like, if you know, just you know. So I get it that a lot of people want to be in tune with like who I talk to, because nobody knows who I talk to this day. Years later, nobody would have ever known about me and him unless if that fight would have happened, nobody would have ever known about us, because I never let the world know. Not that I'm hiding it, because I'm just trying to protect like my peace and just protect like what I love the most. So I was working that night, and a drink was thrown on me. So this was my first serious incident while dealing with him. So it all came about, about 2 years ago, and the drink was thrown on me. A fight occurred. When I left out the situation, I had like my face was messed up, my lip was messed up. I have really no feeling on the right side of my top lip. So at that time, I was walking. I remember I had like my ones in my hand. I had $1,000, 5 and 5. Was walking, and I was talking to a dancer at that time, and we was talking, and she was like, "You drenched in Patron on your butt," and I was like, "No, I'm not," because I didn't feel it. Like, the club is packed, and she told me that I was drenched. So I touched myself, and I was like, "Oh dang, I am." But when I turned around, it was an individual who used to deal with him as well. And so I just kind of like turned around, and I was like, damn, you threw a drink on me, And then from there, the fight occurred. And it was what it was. It happened however it was supposed to happen, I'm assuming. I was very upset. All I could think about is like, what am I doing? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, and granted, I'm no victim, but like, I played my part. So I look back now, I take full accountability. Like, I don't know if anyone else do, but I do. Like, I take full accountability. Like, I played my part in some of them situations. Did I deserve for that to happen to me? No, because I feel like you could deal with whoever you want to deal with. And before my time had nothing to do with me. And I don't care about what was before me. I only care about what's during me. And I feel like that was a past situation. And I just kind of was not bought into it, but I was the new girl. I needed time to like heal from that situation, and not only physically but emotionally. And I had just felt like I'm out of high school, and like, why is this like cloud like still following me? Like, I'm grown now. I was in like 2015 when I graduated from high school, was going through all that stuff. And I get it, like, that was a younger me. I didn't know no better. I never even knew like I wanted to do business or just do anything. I just knew like I was in high school. I didn't know that that'll follow me down the line. Like, I never knew that. And so now, like I said, fast forward, I'm trying to heal now. So at this point, I'm trying to be a business owner. I was running my business. I was selling fajas for women that just got their body done. I was selling waist trainers. I was like stepping into like wanting to speak to people, and then I'm fighting in a club. That just didn't make no sense. Like, I didn't understand that. So I went into hiding for a long time. Well, not a long time, but enough time to get physically like back to myself. I wanted to look okay, but when I came back, I wanted to be different. Like, because that situation took a toll on me. Like, if it wasn't like what I went through, is what people perception of me. And I was worried about that, because I'm like, I worked so hard to come back from that. And so I just threw myself into my work.
So while you were in your hiding stage, what were you doing? What were you focusing on?
I was depressed.
I was
depressed about how people felt about me, what they thought about me if I was fighting over a man, like what they were like lying on me and saying, because it was some truth to it, but it was a lot of lies to it. Things that I never experienced that they said I experienced. They said I did that I didn't do. They said I said that I didn't never say. So I was like, and then I'm getting on Facebook and I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it, and so I deleted my Facebook. I had deactivated my Instagram at the moment. It's like at the peak. Like, I'm selling 50 waist trainers, and in 30 minutes I'm sold out. Like, they used to be coming to the gas station on them turn at the racetrack, and I used to be making my transactions. I'm making more money than I've made in my life. Like, so I was like at an all-time high off of that to happen. and then just go and hide. Like, what happened to her? And so that happened. And then I was depressed. I wasn't going anywhere. If you know me, I'm always on the scene. So I like to have a good time. I like the vibes. Was depressed, wasn't going anywhere. But then one day I reactivated my Facebook. Oh no, right after that incident, I got a message from an older girl who I knew of, and she just always been sweet to me, just a sweetheart. And she was like, Heaven, you gotta be mindful of the things that you're doing, because nobody gonna wanna work with you. Because every time you come around, it may be a situation. You may be fighting. You a liability. Like, nobody gonna work with you. Like, I know you better than what you're going through, but you can't be doing this. Like, it's about the business. And like, when she told me that, my Instagram, at that point I deleted my Instagram. I deleted my Facebook and deactivated my Instagram. And then like a few months later, I like out the blue did my Instagram. Put my Facebook back. And I was just like, I gotta get back on my grind. Like, I can't let nobody put me in high. And like, I'm bigger than any situation. And those that know me gonna know me, and those that love me gonna always love me. No matter what nobody saying about me, they still gonna be with me. So a few months later, I came back. But this time when I came back, I had a purpose and a plan. Like, I owed it to nobody but myself. So when I came back, I stopped selling the waist trainers and the fajas. And when I came back, I started selling lingerie. So lingerie was like my thing. Like, this was like my new thing that I was doing. And the lingerie, it came with a lot, because then it went from, oh, you fighting about a nigga a few months ago, to all she wanna do is show her body on Instagram, not knowing I'm just doing what works for me. Like, this works for me. Like, I'm good at it. I can sell salt to a dog. It didn't matter. Like, I know that I gotta do what works for me. And it's not like I'm just on Instagram showing my ass or showing my titties for fun. Like, I'm selling a product, and a good product, a quality product at that. So like, I was getting a lot of backlash from that. And that wasn't the time, because I was just coming back off a situation where like I had to be headstrong, and I couldn't worry about why a person don't like me, because that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with them. But I ain't gonna sit up here and act like that stuff was not bothering me, because it was bothering me. I'm human. I probably shouldn't worry about what people say, but I was. And that's something like I gotta stop doing. So was selling lingerie, making a lot of money off doing lingerie, but I was taking my own pictures. So like, I got this pretty beautiful long mirror in my house, and I was my own model. So I was like taking pictures, like covering my face, but I was taking pictures, and it was doing good, but I had needed to up it a little bit. I needed like professional pictures, but I was putting out so much money that I started losing. And I felt like when you're in a business, people don't really show you the bad part. They only show you like when they're winning. But I wanted to be proof that I'm not always winning. I'm actually always going through something. Like the pressure is always on me. People always talking about me. People always got something to say about me. But as much negative as I get a lot of positive too. So I kind of like take the good with the bad. So then fast forward, I started like paying for one-on-one classes. I started like going to Jack's Chambers women's meet, and I just started putting myself in the rooms. I started like working hard, because at this point I gotta redeem myself. Like, people just think I'm out here fighting about a nigga, working in the club, doing nothing, like not knowing like I still had my career job, my corporate job, and I was working in the clubs as the bartender, and I had my side hustle, and I was still being a full-time entrepreneur. But nobody knew that. They only knew that I worked in the club, and that I had just got jumped and beat up by a lot of girls, well, a few girls. That was all they knew. Forget all the positive stuff I've ever done. The hell with it. They don't care about that. They only care about the negative I haven't done. So that was that. Then fast forward, like I said, I started putting myself in the rooms. I started like being around women that had more than me, that was better than me. Like, I just call it what it is. They have more than me. They're older than me. And I know that I want to get on their level. So I started being around them. I started hopping in the DM. I started reaching out. I started wanting to be in Jack's Chambers. I wanted to be a part of committees. That's what I wanted to do. And I was still selling lingerie, but the more I started focusing on my business, I realized I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 because I had been doing that since I was 18. My first corporate job was at Wells Fargo. I was was working like home mortgage, home equity. I'm 18 years old with a high school diploma. I don't even really know what home mortgage and home equity is. But I got that job, I got that blessing. And right when I got out of training, I had lost my dad. My dad passed away. So I had to be with him through like his hospice care. And then he passed away. So that was like tough. And it like wasn't the easiest thing. But yeah, so I started doing lingerie. Took a break from that. I didn't take a break, but I just like took a second really fast. And then I ended up revamping back in February, and I came back right before Valentine's Day, and I did a relaunch, and it did really good. My pictures went viral. I did them at the selfie room. My pictures went viral, sold out. People in the city was like showing me love. I had just wanted them to respect me as a business owner and as a businesswoman. So what did I sell lingerie, and I was being my own model and posting me half naked. When I put on a suit, respect me as such as well. And that was like all I ever wanted was for them to do. So over time, I just was proving myself. I was putting it in their face every chance I get. 6 o'clock every morning, I had a message of the day for people. And people started looking forward to that. So regardless of what people were saying about my character, the truth of my character outweighed any lie that was told about me. So I was cool with that. And then, like I said, I revamped in February, before Valentine's Day, sold out. It did great. And then I just didn't want to do lingerie anymore.
What fueled that?
I felt like the more success. I'm successful right now, but like I'm at like the top of it. I got like way more to go. So like what I think is success, I'm doing nothing now. Like I'm doing nothing. You know, like I'll give myself a pat on the back. But what I want is like long to come. And I felt like the little success that I was getting, it caused like a lot of more problems for me. So as I started to grow and the growth was happening and I was leveling up, I started getting like pressure on me. Like the pressure was on me. Not that I can't handle no pressure, but I mean like it was to the point where like I just didn't want to do it no more. That's the honest to God truth. I'm living my truth. I want to be very transparent. I just didn't want to do it no more. So I stopped doing it. I started minimizing what I put on Instagram because people thought that I was telling my business and they thought that they knew like tea, as people would say. They just didn't know that I'm just an open book. I'm transparent and I want you to know. And I'm just proof that this stuff really happens for us. So not because you know my business, because I only put out what I want people to know. Sometimes I put out too much and I like hate that for me. But in this season of just using my discernment, using what's keep happening to me, I just can't share everything with everybody anymore. Like I'm just not in the place no more to do that. And so I just want to keep sometimes my losses and my wins just private to me. Like I just want to hold them dear to me now because I see what it did and it didn't do me justice. So yeah, that's that.
So moving forward, what are you expecting your viewers to take from their new journey?
Well, once I had stopped selling lingerie, I started getting to wanting to speak to troubled teens and just young girls, and even some guys if they were interested to know about living in your truth and being able to come back from anything. Because 2.5 years ago, I was like in a club and I had to come back. It wasn't nothing. At that moment, I thought I couldn't come back from it, but I was able to come back from what I thought ended my career. And then I was able to come back and then feel like I'm still okay. Like I still was okay with myself after having to redeem what felt like forever to people, and which I shouldn't have had to feel like I had to redeem myself. But I felt like I owed it to myself and people that really was rooting for me, that like me fighting in a club is not who I am. Me around here fighting and then preaching the next morning about positivity and like knowing your worth and loving yourself and not placing yourself in certain situations, it like contradicted everything that I had did.
Yeah, because the people are definitely looking.
Yeah.
They definitely say, oh, wow, she's preaching about this one day and she was just fighting
the next day. Yeah. So then like I started, so after I stopped selling lingerie, I started wanting to venture out to just speak to people because I got a story to tell and I want people to know. So I just started reaching out to certain people, directors at the Boys and Girls Club, admins at schools, just so like I can get my foot in the door. And it's okay if you tell me no, like I'm okay with that because I just gotta show you why you should tell me yes. So I had a good streak with no fights, no drama, no nothing. Like I was happy. I was good. I'm good. Everything I felt like I was having, it was like deserved. It was overdue. Like I felt like I took a lot of losses. I was due for a win. And so a month ago, what I felt was my past just keeps me in my, unfortunately, it just keeps being my present for some reason. It keeps me in my present. So what was once my past has came about again. And a month ago, I was in an altercation again in a club. This just keeps being my now. It keeps being my present, unfortunately. And so like I was questioning myself and wondering like, why do this keep happening to me? Like, what am I doing? Or like, I just don't, I didn't get it.
Now, is it attached to the same previous incident or is it
A different person, same incident, or same reason, per se. So a situation happened a month ago with an individual, similar to the first incident a few years ago, and was physically assaulted again. And if you was listening earlier, you would have known of how depressed I was the very first time. Not because per se of anyone. No one made me depressed. The situation at hand made me depressed because no woman should have to go through that. Especially when you at the peak and got a lot to lose and your career matters to you. Success matters to me. So I felt like I'm depressed because I gotta start over again. So once this situation happened a month ago, the very first time it happened a few years ago, I went into hiding because I was worried. I was over worried. But with the situation that happened a month ago, it wasn't as bad as the situation a few years ago because I learned a lot that very first situation. After that situation, I was on Facebook, I went live, I was crying, I was saying this, I was saying that. But the older me now, the wiser me now knows I didn't do that. I didn't say a word because it was nothing for me to say. If it made them happy by doing that to me, then that's fine. Because I just kind of looked at it like they got what they wanted. So, okay. Now it should be over with now. Like it should be done. I learned that during situations that involved me, people was like excited for bad stuff that happened to me. They was like, oh, she got jumped? For real? Like I was in people group chats. I was like trending on Facebook the next day. I was on Instagram. I was in people call-offs. I was in hair salon talks. I never said a word. I never got on Facebook. I never got on Instagram. I didn't speak on it. You know, my immediate family, you know, they was like, Heaven, you okay? You not mad? I wasn't mad. I actually went jet skiing the next day. That next morning, I looked up and said, you know, God, it could have been worse than that. You know, it could have been worse than that. But I went jet skiing the next morning. And I wasn't mad because those that know me know. I was disappointed, of course. I was disappointed and I felt like, man, all the positives I done, it done went downhill. Like, it went downhill. And then my mentor told me, like, it didn't go downhill. It's only gonna go downhill if you wanted to go downhill. And so I was like, you sure? I'm crying and stuff. Like, you sure? Like, what if nobody gonna wanna work with me now? What if my opportunity at the Boys and Girls Club is lost? Like, what if that's not forgiven? Like, what if when I go to the Jack's Chambers, someone's mom worked there and like was on Facebook and seen it or was there that night? Like, those are things that was running through my mind. And that was that. And I was trending, obviously, the next day on Facebook. And I was looking at it. And I didn't deactivate my Facebook because this time I'm not running. And this time I didn't do nothing. And I ain't gonna say I did anything because I didn't. The only thing I wish I would have did was, when I was approached, I feel like I should have nipped it in the bud right there. It's nothing to talk about. But instead, I was asked to talk, and I said, okay. So I should have said, ain't nothing for us to talk about. That's avoiding conflict. But I didn't. I was just trying to see the good in people, which I was gonna say, when people show you who they are, believe them. The very first time. So had I not collected so many red flags during the 3.5 years, that probably wouldn't have even happened. But I feel like you can't really, like I said, like help who you love. Like I feel like even to shed some light on being young and loving a guy, like with him, I'm gonna always love him. I'm always love him, and we got a different type of bond. But because I feel like you've been with somebody for 1 year, 2 years, 3 or 4 years, that don't mean you gotta be with them. Like I can wish you the best. I want nothing but the best. But when certain situations keep bringing you down, you gotta like you or them. And I'm always choose me. I didn't choose myself then, but I'm just learning to choose myself now. Like I matter more. Like I just can't be. I'll be 26 on the 26th of October, so I just feel like I can't keep doing this. Like that was the last time. So maybe I didn't learn my lesson the first time. Well, I learned my lesson the first time, but I guess it wasn't set in stone because it happened again. But now this time, it's not gonna be a third time. It's not gonna be a third time. So that's pretty much, I think, that on that. I think people should be able to say whatever it is they want to say without being physically assaulted. And I feel like people should love freely. You should be able to love who you want to love. You should be able to make contact with who you want to make contact with. Love on people while you can. But I'm also learning that I felt Lauren London when she said you don't possess people, you just experience them. And so learn to have when you have, and just learn to let go when it's time to let go. So I feel like if this situation didn't teach me nothing, it's teaching me, for one, just how to shut the hell up. Obviously, just shut the hell up, even when you got a lot to say. Clearing up. I mean, the topic of my series is let's be clear, but clearing up the right way. Not clearing up on Instagram because you expected me to. Or to clear up with a Facebook status because you expected me to. Clear it up because I want to. And then capitalize off of it. And I feel like this is really what it's about. Being able to come back from anything. And that's what I live by. So if I can come back from the very first incident, I feel like I can come back from this one. And any other thing that's something to destroy me. But I just want to keep questioning, like, why does this keep being my now? You know, it was my past. It's been my past for some years. And it's like, this is my present. This is my present. What I thought was once done, I just feel like it keep being my present. So now I gotta figure out within, what can I do to make sure this don't ever happen again? Like, what message do I want to send to younger girls? Like, I got a niece. I got nieces, you know. I got a godson. I got younger girls that follow me on Instagram. Like, not just even in Jacksonville, but they like what I'm doing. Like, they don't know, you know, the extent of what I'm going through in my own city, but I just feel like I'm trying to raise awareness for just living in your truth. And you can do anything that you want to do and not be assaulted. Like, you know, love on and move on. Like, you know, and I just kind of feel like I'm going to always be the one to get attacked. No matter what I do. I literally can, like, walk out the door and somebody saying something about me. Like, and I hate that for me. I hate that, but it's like, damn, like, what? Like, if you get to know me, I'm really not what they be saying, and I hate that.
So what are some of the things you hear about yourself that you want to clear up?
That I want to clear up. well, it's so much. I feel like we'll be here for days, you know. But one of the things I want to clear up is that they like think I'm just like this mean girl. I've heard that before. But if you know me, like, I'm far from mean. Like, I'm the sweetest. I'm probably mean to these guys, but to women, like, I'm the nicest, you know. My sister tell me all the time, like, you too trusting, heaven. You too forgiving, you too trusting, you too loving. Like, but that's just who I am. That's always who I was. And so, I don't stop being me. I'm just changing how I move, but I'm never gonna stop being me. I'm still gonna be heavy regardless. What else they say? Oh, they say another thing I want to clear up is they say that like I got my body done, and that is a lie. Like, I never got my body done. Like, so for y'all to keep saying that, stop saying it, because I never got my titties done. I never got my ass done. Like, I want to though. Butt to be bigger, like just a little bit bigger, like not like, you know, not too crazy, but I do want it to be a little bit bigger. But that's something they say, like I got my body done. That's a lie. They never can really figure out who I talk to or like what I got going on, so they place dudes on me all the time. Like, oh, she talking to me. When I can speak to a guy, gotta speak to me. Back in my days when I was working in the clubs, I was doing my job, obviously selling ones, you know, bringing drinks, selling bottles, doing whatever, and they say like, oh, she's talking to him. Oh, she fucking. And I'm just like, I'm actually not. They're like, man, no, like they backing me up too, like, so they always placing dudes on me. So I could never clear that up because they're gonna place whoever on me. If I speak, they're like, oh, she talking to him. So that's just a few things that I want to clear up. It's just so much.
Type-wise, what is your type?
My type? What's my type? Loyal is my type. Caring is my type. Approachable is my type. Respectful is my type. Being 100 is my type. Just being all for me is my type. Being romantic is my type too. Like, you gotta be romantic. Like, I feel like I was just on Instagram, right? And I seen where Finesse 2 Times made a post. Well, he made like a video and like the Shade Room caught it. And he was basically saying like, I don't like no tough woman. I don't want my woman talking gangster to me. I don't want my woman singing all them hood, hard ass songs. Like, I don't want that. Like, so it just made me realize like, I want to be in my soft girl era. Like, I want to be like sweet to my man whenever I get one. Like, I just want to be he lead, I follow type of thing. Like, I don't want to be hard. I don't need to be 2 men in a relationship. I need to be a woman. I need to be real soft, sweet, you know, cuss your ass out when I need to, when needed, you know, but be in my soft girl era. So that's something like I'm working on, because I can go from like 0 to 100 when I feel like my feelings involved. So I gotta learn how to like allow a man to be a man. And I'm just like overly independent. Like, that's just crazy. Like, it's in me. So like, I don't know how to really control that. But I do want to allow a man to be a man. I don't want to like step on those toes. So yeah. I think my message and what someone can take out of this video is just, for one, not letting social media rush you. Not getting validation from social media, because you can be whoever you want to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and so on and so forth. And once you close that out, you got real life problems still. Reality still hits. And being able to come back from anything, it's not a thing you can't come back from. In my case, this is my second time, you know. So I can come back from anything. Ain't nothing I can't come back from. It's just the point of maybe who's gonna keep giving you another chance and another chance and another chance. In this case, I'm just kind of lucky. I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I'm thankful that businesses willing to give me another chance. My mentors they not through with me yet. They not washing their hands on me yet. The board ain't through with me yet. Just people around me not through with me yet. I'm not through with me yet. So just being able to know that you could come back from anything, and that be mindful of the places you go. Be mindful of the people you associate yourself with. That play a big factor in it. So my people who got kids, married, settled, they not finna be in certain places that's gonna potentially place them in an altercation, or they not gonna be around certain people that's gonna have them out here doing things they did years ago. So being mindful of who you hanging with, being mindful of who you surrounding yourself with, that play a factor. I know now that there's people that love me to death, and I love them back. I just can't hang with them. A part of me don't even really want to talk to them anymore. And it's nothing personal. It's just we going on 2 different routes. I'm on a whole nother route. I got a whole lot to lose, and it keep getting jeopardized behind past situations, parts I done played in, once played in. And when you got a lot to lose and you want something so bad, you'll stop placing yourself in situations up until you cancel. And I feel like one more strike, I'm canceled. I think I'm done for it. So I think that I gotta walk a straight line this time, and I gotta show people, like, respectfully and humbly, like, this the last time that you will ever hear me tussling, fighting, anything to put me in jeopardy, me in harm's way, my business in harm's way. Again, you just love you better once you know your worth. You ain't gonna let nobody play with you. And when somebody play with you, you know what to do. But loving yourself. And if I knew my worth, I don't feel like I would have been in this situation. But this situation, all the situations I've been in, have really, like, pulled out something in me that I didn't even know I had. Like, I didn't know I had thick skin the way I did, or the way I have. Not that everything get blown over, but a lot of stuff is kind of like blowing past me because I can't respond how I used to, because people waiting on me to fall. People enjoy when I'm losing. People enjoy when I'm getting beat up or fighting in the club. So I can't give people a reason to talk unless it's about something positive. So that's where we're at with it. Like, I'm learning to forgive. I'm learning to move on. Whether a person forgive me or not, I'm forgiving and I'm moving the hell on. Like, I'm on to the next thing. So that's what it's really, I feel like that's what it's about. Like, I'm not angry at nobody. Like, move on. Unless we on to something new. We on to big things. So I think this the end of it. And yeah.
What would you want to say to those girls?
To those girls. What girls? Those?
Right, what girls?
What girls? I want to say to whoever.
Anybody that has a problem with you. Anybody
that got a problem with me. I feel like get to know me first. You know, don't go off what someone said. You don't know why they feel that way. That can be the hurt talking. That can be the envy talking. That can be just anything. You know, people be hurt. People be upset. People be mad. I'm learning too that people love the way other people love me. And it's always why her. But you don't know what I went through to why people love me, why people respect me, why people attract to me. It's a lot I done been through, but people never know it because I'm just me. I'm heavy for real. So it's like they don't know. But to those that don't like me, mad at me, or just they don't like me because their friends don't like me. For one, we older now. If my friend got a problem with somebody, I'm not gonna have a problem per se with that person. But if something was to ever happen, and it's you or my friend, I'm gonna always choose my friend, right, wrong, or indifferent. And so, majority of the women that don't like me or got something to say about me is behind somebody else. And 98% of the time, they want to get to know me too. They think I'm cool. They think I'm funny. They think my dress was cute, you know? But they can't say it because of the stuff that happened behind closed doors. Or they can't really support me. They probably like what I got going on, but they can't because they friends said they better not, you know. And I think that, yeah, I can't worry about who don't like me because I'm too busy worrying about who love me. Like my grandma told me, the minute you worry about who don't like you, who don't support you, who don't love you, you discrediting the people that do love you, that do want to support you, that do like you, that probably want to be your friend, but you ignoring them because you're too worried about who don't like you. So I'm just not in the business of like proving myself. If they say I said it, I said it. And if they said I did it, I did it. Like if they say whatever, I cannot pinpoint everyone and say, so you said this about me? You said I did this? You said, I'll be a fool. I'm gonna join the misery club too. So I just think like my private life that I'm choosing not to share with people no more, that's more peaceful. That's more better. Like I'm living a whole life that nobody even gonna know about. And still get on Instagram and be intentional. And still post intentional. And still post about my business. And still be about my brand. And still let them into something. You just can't know that side of me anymore. And sorry for you. You should. The good gotta suffer with the bad. But that's pretty much it. Like, I'm excited. I'm grateful for whatever happened. And it happened just, I feel like, the way it's supposed to happen. So, moving forward. We moving forward. No opportunities was lost. Nothing, you know. Some lessons learned, more lessons learned. But we good. We good. It's good. I'm good. And that's all that matters. So, yeah. Yeah.